What's up everyone, welcome to Kai's channel. Today we'll be comparing between the original gold frame Amatsu Mina with its Princess of the Sky version. Now I will be mostly comparing the two in the original Mina form and not with the right Astray arm, just so you know. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. To start off, obviously the black color catches everyone's attention the most. The old one is a gloss piano black while the new one is a matte black. As for the gold, there's actually a difference between the two. The gold on the metal component, the old one is actually quite pale and rough while the new one is a lot stronger in color and shinier. However, for the gold on the plastic, this is quite the opposite. Although it is not as metallic as the new one is, the gold on the plastic section on the old is definitely stronger, while the new is a little more pale. The torso on the old is a silver color while the new one is also a silver color, but there's actually a tone of purple to it. And speaking of purple, the metal joint on the Blitz arm, it is actually colored purple on the old one while the new one is just a silver metal color. So the old one is actually more closer to the Blitz coloring than the new one does. Last is the red. The old one is a dark plastic red while the new one is a brighter red with a surface of white glittering layer on top of it, which looks really nice. Now aside from the base coloring, the decals colorings are also different. The old uses a silver while the new one uses gold. Both actually looks just as good because the silver with the gloss black shines really nice while the gold on the matte black is just as great as well, so really nice on both of them. Although I must say that the decals on the new ones has greatly decreased both in numbers and in size compared to the old one, which is a little disappointing though. In terms of the physical differences, it would be only the left shoulder itself where the old one is a one single piece with very short and dull blade-like antenna while the new one has a very cool looking design with a sharp blade-like antenna on its side. Not only that, but there are a couple gimmicks on the new one, which is the top part can be taken off and also the front piece can be rotated and pull out a little bit just so that it can flip out. But the old one doesn't have any kind of these gimmicks. Aside from the shoulder, the rest of the body is pretty much the same with the exception of the coloring and the decals of course. As for the movement, I really can't comment on this because as you might know, the original Mina is actually not mine, I just borrowed it, so I can't really say if the current tightness is actually like this when it came. However, all I can say is that the tightness on the new Mina is actually fairly loose. Moving on to the armaments. Basically both has similar weapons and armament, but as you can see right now, the new Mina has far more in terms of numbers along with the beam effects as well. So definitely the new one dominates in this aspect. So let's take a look on the items that both of them have in details one by one. Starting off we have is the Totsuka no Tsurugi. The overall design is both the same, but the old one has a very shiny silver with a tone of pink to it for the blade, and the decals on it it's really sharp red, while the handle is a dark purple. As for the new one, the blade is colored in a darker metallic with silver, and the rest looks just about the same. Now you can also notice that the decals, although it's very similar, there's actually a slight difference that the new one has a C on it, and this applies to basically all the weapons and armaments decals that there is, so it's very easy to identify. Moving along, we have is the claw, the Tsumaha no Tachi. Again, it's only a color difference where the black is from a gloss to a matte color, and also the silver is from a pink tone to just a dark silver. There's also a strip of red in there that you can see in the old one, which is no longer present in the new one. Aside from that, the decals also has the C on it, just as I have mentioned. Next is the beam rifle slash shield, the Triceros Kai. Aside from the usual black and the silver difference, the red on the old one is actually like a bruised red and not colored really well on the edges, so it's definitely not painted nicely. While on the new one, the metallic red looks amazing and also painted so much better, so definitely prefers the new one over the old one. As for the blades, Aside from the silver again, the decals is in different color, the old one's in white, and the new one is in red, which both of them looks really good, although I must say that the red is actually more apparent. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. As for the Lancer darts, again, very minor difference, which is the silver coloring itself. So overall, the Triceratops set, there's actually really not much difference to it except for the coloring. Last but not least is the spear, the Okitsu no Kagami. This is where the major difference between the two comes in. The old one has the back tip, which is a very small thruster-like end, while the new one is actually a lot bigger with the decals. It's almost like the thruster is expanded, ready to launch. Now the middle sliding holder is also a little different. The new one has this ring on it which allows you to hold on it and it's able to detach from its connecting point, while the old one doesn't have any of those. As for the spearhead, they're totally different in both design and its size as well. The old one is actually a lot bigger, almost twice the size as the new one. If you open it, you'll see that the old one has all these decals inside, while the new one doesn't have any of those. However, it does have this area that you can actually attach the beam effects onto it. Now as for which one I like more, it's actually pretty hard to decide because I really like the details, decals, and also the size on the old one, but at the same time I really love the beam effects on the new one. So if only they can somehow manage to merge the two together, then it will be perfect. As for the base of the display stand, aside from the gold, both of them looks almost identical. The only difference that I can tell is that obviously on the Japanese Amatsu character, it actually has this extra stroke on its right side. And also the model number and the name on the left side has the C in the end to it. And that's about it. In conclusion, which one do I prefer more? This is a pretty simple answer, which is definitely the new Mina, as you might have noticed that both of them are virtually the same while very minor difference in decals. But the new one does come with a lot more weapons and the ability to change arm, which is absolutely incredible. However, if you actually watched my review, you might have noticed that there are actually quite a number of QC issues, such as the backpack being slanted and the joints are loose. But don't let this discourage you, because based on the comments from fellow viewers, it seems to be only my problem, so it's not a general issue. But even with all the issues that I've encountered, I would still choose the new one over the old because of the weapons and the beam effects are just that freaking cool. So if you're not as unlucky as I am, chances are you'll have an issue-free gold frame Mina added to your collection. So that's it with today's comparison video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and find it useful. Do support me by hitting that like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.